What is up, everybody? We are back. Welcome to season 2. My name is Berkan Dincer.
I'm Nacci.
And together we have a BA Impacts. We did it. That wasn't a bad intro.
Yeah, we got it.
We did improve. It's been a while, but we totally, before we started recording, we were totally like, this is going to be terrible and it'll be funny. But that worked out pretty well. Maybe that's a good omen.
We got it.
Yeah.
So we're back with another round. We're back with a vengeance.
We're back. We're ready to go. We're recharged. We're excited. Honestly, while we're gone, people have been listening to the podcast. I get notified all the time saying like, this many people downloaded your podcast this week, or congrats, you've hit this milestone. And I'm like, what the heck? We haven't even been doing anything.
Right. We've been doing a few things on like TikTok and a few things on Instagram, but honestly, we've all been busy. I know COVID has had a significant impact on everyone's lives in the last 6 months. We thought it was over, but that, and then, the holidays and all the things. So we're excited that we're back, and we've got a lot of things that we're covering. And of course, what a better week to be back.
I know.
Than the NFL. We've got the SuperBowl. We've got the NBA trade deadline, which for any NBA head is like a crazy time because nobody does trades, I think, better than the NBA. And so that's exciting. I guess it's coming up. It's tomorrow, right? The deadline's tomorrow. So a lot going on, lots to talk about. But before we get into all that, let's do, I guess, our pickups. It's been a while. I haven't been super active. I'm not sure if you have either, but we can show some things, I'm sure. Something.
Yeah. I'll start. I really only have the one thing. I did go to the card shop today, actually.
Uh-oh.
And I tried in honor of being PAX season 2 returning. I tried to go in with a big splash of a trade, but unfortunately, I tried. And there was one card in particular that I looked at and I genuinely thought about. The only reason I didn't pull the trigger, and it would have been a substantial trade. The only reason I didn't pull the trigger was because at the card shop, if the owners like you, if you're a good customer, if you're not, like, they know you, they'll let you display product at their store.
Like consign stuff. Yeah.
And so there's this beautiful rookie Josh Allen auto booklet from Origins, RPA. Okay. It was beautiful. It was valued around 12. They listed it at 14, like 1,400, 1,400. But they said that the owner would probably go down to 1,200. And it comes in all the time. So if I wanted to do a deal, I could. So maybe the deal's in the works. They may hit me up on Instagram. We'll see. Trade? I thought about trading a Patrick Mahomes auto, not a rookie auto.
Your SuperBowl auto.
My SuperBowl that they lost.
Yeah.
But Patrick Mahomes auto to 50, leaps and bounds, plates and patches. And that's about like $1,000. And then I had a couple Luka rookie auto, not rookie autos, no. Couple
when did you
Luka
get those?
Rookie cards that are on the lower end that would have added up to value. And if it was the card shop, I guarantee that trade probably would have happened.
Yeah.
Because I can easily, card shop, they're like, okay, great. We can sell Luka rookies and Mahomes auto.
They can push that stuff out pretty easy.
Yeah, but when it's someone's like card, it's a harder bargain.
Everyone always values their stuff a little bit more than the person trying to get it.
Yeah, and they weren't there to negotiate, so the trade didn't happen. I didn't see anything in their shop that I really wanted. So there's a couple really cool stuff, but
so this is kind of like the trade deadline. Like you may get a call at any moment on your cell phone, like a Woj bomb with like a trade proposal for that Jonathan Allen, for the Josh Allen rookie auto.
Yeah, it was nice. Josh Allen's Josh Allen. It was nice. They had a Mahomes rookie booklet from his rookie year. It was a dual auto booklet. So it wasn't a patch. It was Mahomes, and then it was another Chiefs rookie from his year. I can't remember who it was.
Was it McCole Hardman, maybe?
It could have been. But both on-card autos, beautiful booklet. But that was a little bit more expensive, around 6,000 range. So I was like, I'm not trading this
$6,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. And honestly, a thought went through. I mean, I still have my Herbert. If you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of see the little speckle right there. That is the infamous Justin Herbert flawless card.
The trade of all trades.
The infamous trade. I could trade that and get a bunch of small stuff. I mean, they had a ton. I mean, I could get the Mahomes auto,
right?
I can get the Josh Allen auto. Well, it's the variety,
Yeah, it's diversifying.
It's diversifying. So it's not like I'd be doing it for one card. I could do that, but I don't want to.
You don't want to diversify it into a bunch of Zion stuff.
You know what? I'm all in on Zion. Zion's
there's a lot of people that
he's having a great season so far.
I think there's a lot of people that are unfortunately all in on Zion because they committed significantly in advance. I just keep bringing it up because I was the one that was like, he's too big. He's needs to lose like 60 pounds and
you were right
eat himself out of the league. But I don't think it's easy for me to say that now. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Hey, you were right. You were right on the money.
Big men in general with feet, not a good thing. A lot of big men that were awesome in the league, feet killed them.
Yeah. I mean, you were right on the money. I mean, with all those predictions, I mean, everything you said right now, it's only his third year. Granted, he's played 30 games. But
you don't get, as you get older, you don't get more athletic. You don't get more, you're not as versatile as you get older, especially in basketball. So those guys who are big, they are going to lose even more of their quickness and things of that nature as they get older. And he's still significantly younger than a lot of guys are when they age out. But I mean, 260, 270, like jumping and running the way he does aggressively, just you can't be that weight. But Luka does it too. I mean, Luka comes in every year, 30 pounds overweight, and I feel like he's just now in prime shape. So I'm getting ahead of ourselves. So what was your pickup?
So I no trade formulated, unfortunately, which is okay. I'm getting better at being more patient. I'm not trading for packs and boxes anymore. I'm done with that. It's a bad move unless it's like lower end stuff. Then I'm okay with it. But I'm maturing. I'm not gambling anymore.
You're not going to the scratch off machine, scratching it all off, and then buying another one right away.
Yeah, I'm done with that. I'm more patient. So my pickup, it's actually, we had a TikTok and video, and it's another, it happened, I think last month. Can't remember the exact date it happened, but it was another situation where I had a Panini redemption. And again, I did my formula. If you don't know the formula, check out the YouTube channel. It works. And by the way, we get a ton of comments on our Panini redemption videos about people saying, thank you so much. Thank you. This works. And I'm like, I don't know why people doubt it. It worked.
I had 2 redemptions that were over like 2 or 3 years old, expired, and I redeemed them. I had redeemed them. They've been sitting there, and I was like, I was doing another redemption, and I was changing out. I requested, and I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and see what we can get for these 2. And they gave me an extremely comparable value for it.
Yeah, so they give you what you want. They take care of you. And I was telling you for like a year to do it. I'm glad you finally listened to me. But so in this case, I had a Jamar Chase, a premium contenders draft picks card. So to come in a premium stock, and it was going to be out of 10. So it was a nice card. And so for me, I was like, this is a nice card. Jamar Chase is on a tear. However, granted, this is before their playoff run. This is the Super Bowl.
I think.
Yeah, this was December. I did this in December. And I was like, at the time it was doing great. I had maybe I wouldn't have done this if I knew they were going Super Bowl, or maybe I would have tried to do a different player. But at the time, at the time, I was like, you know what? I think I can get a really nice Dirk out of this, something for my PC that I will actually care about. So I don't regret it. Because, of course, like we're saying, Panini will take care of you. They'll come through. So they sent me a white box. I asked them specifically for a Dirk Nowitzki white box because I figured out, secrets out, Panini knows what's in every white box. Yeah, they're not just giving you a random box. They know what they're giving you. So don't expect to get a white box and magically get a Luka or something like that. They know exactly what's in each box. And so knowing that, I asked for a white box Dirk, and that's exactly what I got. So I got a Nationals treasure from Dirk's last season, which I think is cool. Game worn patch,
which is
on
pretty
card
awesome.
auto. Yeah.
Don't do it, Berkan. That's not a patch. Okay. I'm old school. It's a jersey. It's a jersey. It's not a napkin either because it's game used. So it's okay to call that a jersey.
Okay. You know what? You're right. A jersey from Dirk Nowitzki, on card auto, 101. And so it's special to me. It's pretty cool. Will I ever deal it? I'll always consider it. I always consider these things. There's only a handful of cards I say are completely off the table, and 99.9% of the time, those cards were gifts, and I don't like dealing gifts.
Yeah, because it's weird. It's
uncomfortable. Like I wouldn't sell. Like if somebody gave me a card, I probably wouldn't sell it unless they were
it's mean. If it's like a gift, they thought of you and they got the card, you should keep the card. You shouldn't deal it. It's weird to me. I would never do it. And so any card, I'll always look to get something cooler for my PC, or do something that I think, hey, down the road, this will get me something really special. Hence why I traded a Luka card that I loved, because it got me the Herbert.
Got you to the Herbert. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows what this Dirk will have and hold for my collection future. Right now, I'm just enjoying having it. So that's my pickup.
A lot of people don't like those white box cards. Or I think it's silly that people would say they don't like it. They don't like them. I think it's more of people don't feel like they're legitimate one-of-ones. And I argue that they are, because they don't make, like, those are extra kind of either unredeemed cards that are expired, or they are like an extra run that they did, and they have like 2 or 3 left or whatever. And I would assume that there's only a extremely limited. It's not like they're doing 50 of that Dirk card and labeling them all one-of-ones.
Yeah.
Whereas in product that's hitting the market, there are whole bunches of one-of-ones that are in products, and the only difference is maybe a little different shade of color. One of the products, as we go into kind of some of the pickups that I have, obviously I've got my North Texas shirt on.
I've been collecting. He's collecting.
Yeah, I've been collecting Jalen Darden. Basketball's on the mind. Jalen Darden, wide receiver for the Bucks, went to North Texas, and where we're both alumni from. And a lot of the cool products are starting to come out. He went to the Bucks. That was tough because they have a stacked receiver room. They didn't use him the way that I had hoped they would. He is not a return man, even though that's what they thought of him as. And they were like, oh, he's good at returning. He returned 1 punt, I think, all season for like 48 yards. And the rest of his punts were like 3 yards, 7 yards. And of course, everybody that's a Tampa Bay fan's like, why did we get this guy? He doesn't do what we need. Because he's not a return man. He's a slot receiver. And hopefully next year they will be able to utilize him more. I have a feeling that they will have to, especially if obviously Brady's going to be gone. So they're going to rely on some of their shorter yardage specialists. And I don't know if Goodwin's going to be there anymore anyway, as well. So anyway,
he is a free agent, so we'll see.
Yeah. So I've been picking up a lot of his stuff. And since the last time we met, a couple products have come out, one of them being Mosaic, which I'm still working on the Dwight Powell Mosaic Rainbow, just for fun. God. And now I'm also, with more of a passion, working on the Jalen Darden.
There you go. Makes more
Mosaic
sense to me.
Rainbow. So I've got, and this is my favorite. This is my first one I've purchased. They had this since Mosaic started a couple of years ago. The Peacock, the Choice Peacock, these are only available in Choice, and they are.
It looks nice.
Super SP or whatever. It's so hard to see. I'll probably throw a photo up or something as well, but they're super nice. They're really cool. I'm not a big fan of all the different crazy animal skin, whatever. And the Peacock thing is kind of silly, but it is really cool looking. And I got it for what I thought was a pretty good deal. And I think if he does anything at all and gets to play and is still on their roster next year, then if I do ever decide to move that, I think I could do okay on it.
Two touchdowns and you're golden.
Yeah. And I've also got I've got the number to 10, the gold. And then I just got this in. This is really cool, being in North Texas, the green and white, or green white stripe, colors. Which is pretty
Absolutely.
Cool. So anyway, I'm working on that. So I'll probably do like a GIF of something of that at one point and post it. Same thing with the Dwight Powell one. So those are my pickups, really. And I mean, I've got a couple other little things, but that's basically what I've been focusing on is that stuff. I do have a cool pickup that I'm going to share next week. That is going to be really cool. And it'll actually spawn a whole topic that we can talk about next week as well. So I'm excited to get that in hand so that I can show you and we can divulge into all of that fun. So anyway, big week, huh? So basketball.
Big week. So basketball. Let's start off with this. Obviously, some crazy trades came out, but we did get a Woj tweet. In the process of recording. No trade yet, but interesting note for the first time this entire season, Russell Westbrook. Yes, that was intentional. I'm funny. I know. Russell Westbrook is out tonight with lower back tightness. For the first time this season, he's out. Could actually be lower back tightness, or it could be Russell Westbrook's on the move.
Yeah. So the trade deadline, the Woj bomb there, Russell Westbrook. Say that
Westbrook.
5 times. Westbrook. Yes. Russell Westbrook. Him going to LA, I was anti. I thought that was everybody
move. It was overkill.
Everyone who's not a Lakers fan, which is like 70% of the basketball world, and then there's that hardcore. It's kind of like the Cowboys. Everyone, you either love them or you hate them, kind of thing. Anyway, with the Lakers, but I was not a fan of that move at all. Even unbiased, I thought that it was not going to work. I thought it was weird. I thought the original trade that they had set up with Hield to go into the Lakers, which was the original trade that got shot down before the Russell Westbrook thing happened.
Yeah.
Would have been a better fit for how the Lakers play and spacing the floor. And now it's ironic that Russell Westbrook, yeah, that Russ is going to get traded most likely. We'll see, but they're talking about trading him to, I guess,
go back to Houston
to get John Wall back to Houston, because Houston's a dumpster fire, I guess. So
yeah,
that's nuts.
It is definitely interesting. Look, the way I see it, it's like when you go to a dessert bar and you're like, God, yes, you can have anything you want. So you start like, you put 1 scoop, this is good, 2 scoop, okay, put a bunch of sprinkles. Then you start adding like the gummy worms and gummy bears, more hot fudge, another scoop, and then it just becomes too much. And the first couple bites, first part of the season, you're enjoying it. They're doing well. LeBron's tweeting, hey, yeah, we're old, but we're still got stuff in the tank. We're good. And then you feel the sugar in your stomach and you want to die.
Well, and all the flavors start to melt together and you're like, it's kind of like mixing colors. It all just ends up being brown. It's kind of like that, that deal. The thing that makes me kind of sick a little bit about this whole thing, since you're talking about eating too much dessert, is the fact that LeBron is basically turned into the GM. Like, why do they even have a GM anymore? I guess they just have somebody to answer the phone. I mean, the GM is basically the accountant and the assistant to answer the phone. And it's crazy because look where we've come from. Look where we've come to. Like, when LeBron moved to Miami and they were picking up pieces to try to win championships, and he was, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we played together kind of situation. There were obviously things going on behind the scenes that facilitated that and facilitated additional players coming. And the same thing when he went back to Cleveland. But I don't feel like he had the power that he has now. And I think the NBA, man, like, it's crazy how much power the players are getting. And it's not a good thing. These guys, these GMs, that is their career. That's what they do. That's what they're supposed to be good at. Let them do their job. Don't try to be Jackie Moon and play basketball, be the GM, be the coach, be the owner, and I think we're getting a little into a point where it's getting over the top. Like, even like, if you think about it, like Jordan, he never did stuff like that. Like, I'm sure he wanted to, and he would have loved to have nobody doesn't want the power, but you got to protect them from themselves. And I think this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's too much. I don't know. Like, I'm surprised the Lakers, they won a championship, and then now they're it's not like, to me, I don't think the rest of the league really got dangerous, Like there wasn't really like mega super teams being built. I mean, yeah, Brooklyn, but Brooklyn's also showing right now that too much is not a good thing.
And they got too much drama.
Yeah, and so it's just the NBA works best. The NBA worked amazingly last year when it was really 2 stars per team,
Right.
And that's the way or
because of injuries,
every big team only had 2 stars. And yes, injuries played a part to that being the case. But I felt like it worked. It was exciting to watch. The playoffs were interesting. Who would have guessed Phoenix, Milwaukee?
Mm-hmm.
It was good. And now we're seeing, though, teams are interestingly adapting to the point where they also don't need a bunch of superstars. Like the Grizzlies, they have Ja and a really strong young core, and they're kicking butt.
And even some of their core has not even been very healthy this year.
Exactly.
Brooks is a huge piece of their team. And he's been in and out of the lineup all season.
Yeah, it's like the league essentially balanced itself. No longer will a big 3 automatically mean NBA Finals trip.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it is having an impact. I think the other piece of that is a lot of the guys who have been moving around and creating those big 3 have been older.
Yeah,
and I think that those same characters are the ones that are continuing to rotate around the league, and they're getting older every year. So their impact is going to be less on the day-to-day game, the games. Whereas, but their impact on the salary cap and their impact on the GM side of it is huge. And you're seeing all these teams that have been like, okay, yeah, we'll take a star here. We'll take a star there. Okay. Yeah. We'll draft some guys, they're kind of getting into the upper echelon. And that's where you've got the Phoenix Suns, you've got, Milwaukee, you've got like all the teams that you said, Memphis, basically that's all their GM. I think if any GM needs
there's an example of a great GM, how you should build a roster. Yeah.
And it's drafting and it's finding, bargain guys. And smart trades. A lot of people were not happy when they moved their big man. I guess Valanciunas, I think is who they had eventually. Because
I didn't think was a great fit for them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all working out pretty well for them. So I mean, we'll see when it comes to the playoffs, but you got to survive to that far. And a lot of these guys, like the LeBron Lakers and the KD Nets, are going to struggle to get there. Now, the trades that did go down
stupid
are GMs that are
wild.
I don't know what they're doing, like guys who I think are playing fantasy basketball or 2K.
It's 2K, man. It's a live action 2K.
The head scratcher for me was Halliburton going to
Indiana. Yeah.
Now, personally, I do not think Halliburton is as good as everyone else does. I think he is still very, very raw. And I think that he could be really good, but I don't think he's like, a superstar. He reminds me a lot of the way people looked at Paul George, for quite a while ago, where he's like super athletic. He can shoot, he can, pass. He's, but we're not quite sure how he fits and where he goes, but he's good kind of situation. And he got overvalued a bit. Paul George is good, but anyway, that's how, even though they don't play the same role, that's kind of the kind of player that I think he will eventually be. So what are your thoughts? That was a crazy trade. That was the first thing that stuck out for me, was that move.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's I think you have a fair point, but I think your point also kind of adds to why that trade is kind of insane to me. Halliburton's in his second, not even like he's halfway through his second year. He's been in the league a year and a half, and that first season was shortened.
Yeah.
So it's like he hasn't really.
And you were basically crazy. You've been in not tank mode really, but you've kind of been. You get this. The Kings have been so close to making the play-in game the last few years, but then towards the end of the season they just collapse.
Exactly, and I think Sabonis is a good player. Obviously, he's an all-star. I love Sabonis. If the Mavericks got Sabonis, I'd be thrilled. However, how much further is Sabonis going to go as a player? you know?
Yeah. The potential is not as high.
Right. And Halburn's raw, like you said, he's athletic, but there's the ceiling, we're not close to there yet. You know, like there's still so much ahead of him. He's only in his second year. I think it would have made more sense, and I would have been less surprised if they traded De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
I think De'Aaron Fox is a great point guard, but it's been 5 years now. I could see maybe okay, yes, you need to give something to get something. I understand where you're going to come from, but to trade Haliburton and then to trade Buddy Hield with him, was wild.
Which they wasted. I mean, I'm biased too because I'm an Oklahoma fan, but they definitely Hield was a bit overrated coming out. I mean, he had an amazing senior year. He had
a great March Madness run.
And he statistically his year in basketball was probably one of the better individual years in a while.
Plus, he has a great story coming from the Bahamas or Virgin Islands.
And he's a good shooter, but they spoiled him basically. I mean, they left the fruit out of the refrigerator or something. So hopefully with a new scene he'll do better. But God, Indiana.
He may not even stay in Indiana. He could get traded again.
They said they're going to keep him. I don't know if that's jockeying to see what they can get. But
do you know what else they said? They also said Haliburton was untouchable.
Yeah, well, I mean, Indiana. I think that whole trade was that the Kings were trying to save their butts. Like the GM for the Kings was, we need to make the playoffs now. So we need, the one thing that we've lacked in the last few years is that veteran, go-to presence in crunch time. And we need that. And so that's kind of what they're going with. It's an odd lineup. I feel like Barnes and, unless I guess they're just going to keep Barnes at the outside wing.
It feels like they're going to keep Barnes now, which is I don't disagree with. I think Barnes is a great guy. Come playoff time, he's a great guy to have. It's just, to me, I would rather my lineup, my chances, and it feels like they could have pulled this trade off. I think just replace Haliburton and Fox in this trade scenario, and it's fine. I feel
like they could have gotten more too if they included Fox. Yeah. But I mean,
and it's you're getting the same effect in my eyes. I think whether you have Haliburton or Fox with Sabonis, I think you'll make the play in. However, the difference is you could have gone so much further in the years to come if you had Haliburton instead of Fox. That's the difference to me. And that's why I think it's crazy.
Well, I think the other thing about this is that
we are very familiar being Mavericks fans with Coach Rick Carlisle. And I think he likes Haliburton.
Oh, he loves Haliburton. He wanted Haliburton
way more than he likes the De'Aaron Fox kind of ball handler. And I know people are going to say, well, Luka's a do everything point guard kind of guy, but Luka plays slow. And it's not just because he's not athletic or whatever people want to say. They say he plays at his own pace. It's not that. It's he just plays slow. Carlisle likes that kind of point guard more than he likes the Fox / Westbrook style, charge in 100 miles an hour, pull up and shoot it, or create some kind of havoc kind of point guard. So I think that has probably something to do with the fact that they didn't get Fox in it as well. But yeah, that trade, and as far as the hobby's concerned and cards and everything, Indiana, both those places are kind of wastelands for the trading card world, as far as, value and their success of the team increasing the value of the card, which in the NBA, with rookies, they always are going to have value when they're the big hot, player, but over time, if they don't succeed, their value is going to significantly decline.
Right.
And even in Indiana, there's some diehard obvious fans, but think about Reggie Miller. I mean, he played during Jordan, and none of his stuff is worth a poop. Some of his super rare, PMGs, things like that are just valuable because of what they are. But I think it's going to have an impact. Maybe Indiana can turn it around, and maybe they can. The East is both conferences are kind of open, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm curious about the Portland Pelicans trade, how that's going to work out for both teams. Because Portland, it feels like they're blowing up, but they're kind of not blowing up at the same time. They're obviously not going to do anything this year.
Yeah. I mean, they
made another move today. They traded, the initial trade
draft pick for KZ Opala. Yeah.
Well, so the first trade they did was, they traded Powell and somebody else to, I don't even remember. That trade's not even super relevant. I mean, the big one was, of course, McCollum going to New Orleans, and New Orleans sending them Nickeil Alexander-Walker and
and then they flipped Nickeil Alexander-Walker to Utah for Joe Ingles.
For Joe Ingles, who's going to be a cap dump because he is, I think, a free agent after this season. And
he's probably going to end up signing right back with Utah, to be honest.
That's what I think. Because even I think he tweeted today. I was looking at it. It was kind of funny. Ingles tweeted the coffee emoji, like cups of coffee emoji, which is like, the whole concept, the like phrase, oh, you just stopped there to have a cup of coffee. So that's basically, I think, what's going to happen. He's going to get bought out, and then he's going to go re-sign somewhere as soon as he's healthy. But the thing that's crazy about what's going on in Portland is Dame. I think they're literally making one of two things is happening. They're either setting it up so that he requests a trade so that they don't look like they're the ones that pushed him out.
Right.
Or they are trying to develop enough dry powder, I guess you could say, or assets to create a team around him, which is kind of what they're selling in the media. But there's not going to be any assets to get. I was looking at the free agent roster for this next season, and there's nobody that's really.
It's not going to be an exciting offseason
at all. I mean, James Harden, you can't play James Harden and Dame Lillard together. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
And he's probably going to get re-signed if he gets traded anyway with a sign and trade.
Yeah, we'll see. Before I move on with that, just to kind of add to what you kind of talked about with Joe Ingles, ESPN analysis Tim McMahon tweeted that last week in anticipation of being traded. Joe Ingles said, if I'm able to get someone back that would help them make a push for the end of the year, I understand that I'm not going to sit here and be sour and upset. So you kind of say, it feels like they discussed like, hey, we'll trade you. You'll probably come right back to us. Kind of like Devin Harris in Dallas. I mean, they traded him.
JJ Barea.
We didn't trade Barea, but the guys that fit the systems that they play very, very well, but they go somewhere else and they're not going to do what they did in their location. I think that's what he is. And I think he'll probably be back in Utah. Just like
it feels weird. Joe Ingles not wanting to come back to Utah, or Utah even wanting to get rid of Ingles. It just, especially with his relationship with Donovan Mitchell, it feels kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if he does come back. And now we mentioned James Harden. I don't think we're really going to see. It sucks because I don't think all these awesome trades are going to develop unless James Harden and the Ben Simmons trade fizzles completely or happens. Everything's waiting on that one single trade. That's probably not going to happen, which sucks. I hate when that happens, when the league gets stuck on one trade before they do anything else, and then it's too late.
I feel like we've had some
good movement this year.
We need movement. The Mavericks need movement.
There's really nothing. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. getting hurt really soured the opportunity for us to make any legitimate move. And we don't want to give up Brunson. And he's probably our most valuable asset. The thing that's hard about Brunson, though, is that he's super valuable. He's on a 1 year, his contract's up at the end of the season. Yeah. But his salary is so low, I think he makes 1.8 mil. So as far as cap numbers, there's no way you're going to find a partner who really wants him that you're going to be able to match any of the money side of it, unless you throw in a bunch of other guys like Powell or Kleba or, and then you're going to end up moving like 5 pieces for one, above average piece. And it's like, was it worth it? So I don't think that there's legitimate chances. Finney Smith, I think teams like him, but I don't think they're going to overpay for him because he's a free agent too at the end of the season.
Yeah. The report is that someone did offer a late lottery pick for Finney Smith. The report says it was just a lottery pick and there wasn't like a specific name attached to it.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like, why would the Mavericks ever do that? They're in a position where they're in a good position. Why would they get rid of a key player just for a pick?
Yeah.
That does nothing for us this year.
When we're fighting for the 4 seed.
Yeah. Like what?
we historically,
GMs.
regardless of our GM situation, historically have not drafted the best.
No. We're not that great at it. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
I think they could be a player in if what you're saying happens where that big trade happens. So if, the Nets and the Sixers and whoever else is involved gets something together, I think that the Mavericks could be one of those teams that slides in to be a third or fourth part of a trade. And maybe we move Dwight Powell for, a second round pick, or we move, somebody that's kind of Trey Burke or something like that for a young forward or something. So, but it's hard to do that with knowing that Hardaway Jr. is out.
Yeah, you definitely have to, teams could still want Hardaway. They could still make that trade, but the issue is you're basically banking on a team wanting to invest in Tim Hardaway Jr. And with his contract with a significant injury for the year, it's kind of hard to want to do that. And so I don't really see a big trade really happening for the Mavericks. Unfortunately, they talked about Pascal Siakam and the Mavericks being interested in him, but it's kind of the flip end. Why would Toronto want to trade him? If you look at the standings, Toronto's in a good place. Why would they give up a key player for really no one? Because the Mavs aren't going to offer really anyone that's going to be better than Pascal for their team.
It's going to be a bucket full of junk.
Yeah, so it's
bucket full of pieces.
It just doesn't really make sense. So honestly, this year might be a year where no trade is a good trade for the Mavs. Us fans will overreact, just like I'm sure whatever fan base you're a fan of, whoever's listening to this, you probably overreact, or your fan base overreacts and your team doesn't do anything. There are such things as bad trades. So that's something to always keep in mind.
Sometimes no move is a good move. And I think this is one of those years that it might be worth it, even though the free agency, isn't where we want it to be next year. As far as the Mavericks are concerned, we can make some moves in the offseason. We can still make trades in the offseason, and maybe we can work our way into a better situation.
Absolutely. Right. Well,
so big week this week.
Yeah, something exciting happening on Sunday.
As all the advertising and marketing would say, because they can't use the name. All the list of names you can't use. I will roll through, since we're not nonprofit organization, I guess. The big game, you can't use that in marketing.
Nope.
Of course, the Super Bowl, you can't use that in marketing. There's a bunch of names for it. But anyway, the Super Bowl is this weekend.
What?
Who do you got?
Crazy. I've never heard of it. Who do I got between the Bengals and the Rams? I'm kind of rolling with the Bengals.
You're going with Bengals. I had a feeling you'd go with the Bengals.
I'm going with the Bengals. Before I pick, whose card do I have? And to actually, honestly, this year I decided, I'm actually going to, I didn't have anything crazy. I had a Joe Burrow Prism base and a Matt Stafford Topps variation rookie base. So I sold it this week. I have no horse in the game. I'm just going to enjoy what should be a good game. I'll be happy for the Rams if they win. Matt Stafford coming to LA, winning in his first year. It's a cool story after years and years of disappointment in Detroit, or this young, scrappy Cincinnati team that frankly gives me hope as a Cowboys fan. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year.
Yeah, I think it should be
interesting
a really
good game. I think the big thing, the matchup. Well, first of all, the thing with Joe Burrow that's just amazing is that he's just a winner. I mean, I know it's so cheesy, such like a cheesy thing to say, but he's just a winner. And I think he does what he can. He's got that kind of the extra thing that you need when you're a quarterback in the NFL. And there are a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that don't have that extra. So I think the big thing with him is, will he be able to stay on his feet?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think they're going to win, as I think that the defensive line for the Rams will be able to get to Joe Burrow. I don't think the secondary for the Bengals is good enough to keep Stafford he's not going to, I don't think he's going to light him up or anything, but I think they will not be able to take advantage of all of the possible errors that Stafford sometimes will make, because I think the quarterback for the Bengals is going to be running for his life. That's the only reason why. I think these games are won in the trenches a lot. That's also a super cliche phrase, but Donald, Floyd, those guys are going to dominate.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I thought Cincinnati was toast. 21-3 AFC Championship game in Arrowhead. I thought they were done. And to have just the guts as a team to kind of claw back, be patient, and stay within your game and win, I think for a young team, it's hard to stop that momentum. Once you're on a momentum like that, it's really, you're going to get bulldozed if you try to step over them. And you flip to the Rams side, they've won some ugly games in this playoffs, Like, I wouldn't say it was really that pretty. And so to me, I think it's actually Cincinnati, it may be their game to lose. They have all this momentum. They're young, they're fiery. And Joe Burrow, he is a winner. And we can say he's going to be running for his life, but the dude's got something in him to where that might actually feed into his game.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's got that connection with Chase, where, he can scramble, and Chase, they're on the same page quite often. Yeah. So it's hard. For me personally, I would be excited for either team to win. I've got a lot of guys who I've rooted for in college that play for the Bengals. I've got guys that have rooted for that play for the Rams. I really like Stafford. He's a local kid. He's a Dallas kid. And I always wanted the Cowboys to get him. Yeah. But so I really like him, and he seems like a really good guy, and he's a tough guy as well. So it's going to be a fun game as far as cards and collectability and things of that. Every year in the Super Bowl, I always go through, a lot of my stuff that I have to look and see, do I have anybody from this team? Do I have any? Because you can throw it on eBay and, see what happens. And historically, because I so much of my majority of my collection is from the early 2000s and, mid to late 2000, 2010s, 2012s, things like that. There's not a lot that I have for like Burrow, but I do have some Burrow Prism. I have a Burrow Prism, and I have a couple other Burrow cards, Leaf Rookies and Stars, which is like a nothing card, but $15 or $12 or something like that on Sunday. Yeah, maybe. But I do have a Stafford. I've already sold a Stafford. I had a Stafford Mark Sanchez dual autograph number to 25 SB Authentic.
A Super Bowl potential winner, and the butt fumble. That's a 101.
And I was like, you know what? That butt fumble is going to make this card extremely devalued. When it came out, that was the card to get. That was the dual auto to get. It was a redemption, and I had gotten it, and it's on card. And Stafford has an awesome signature. I should have brought my Stafford auto that I have currently. Anyway, I sold that card before the playoffs started, and I got like $225 for it. So I was super pumped considering the butt fumble was on it. And I have a press pass, which is the rookie was like kind of the draft picks sets that would come out every year. And I have a press pass Matthew Stafford auto numbered to like 99 rookie. And his autograph is awesome. It's just it's a nice looking autograph considering all the junk that comes out from players these days. So I'm going to probably
Joe Burrow also has a nice auto. It's super simple. It's a clean Joe.
Well, he does. Sometimes he just does the JB with like some dashes. So, Stafford's auto is like, he writes his name.
It's
there's
elegant.
Like a swirl. There's like the F's. It's nice. It's a nice auto.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I may throw those guys up just to see what happens, and sell those. Cause I don't think for Stafford, for example, I don't think these are quarterbacks going in two different directions. One's on the, already kind of up there and working his way down, and the other one's on his way up. So I don't think
second year, Super Bowl second year.
I don't think Stafford is going to be going to the Super Bowl every year or anything. So I think this might be a one and done situation for them. So
for sure. I have a fun story if you're a fan of this channel and you've been watching the videos since early BD Packs days, you'll know in one of the earlier videos, one of my early big pools, I was in my car and I wanted to rip a Contenders draft picks. It was my first time ever buying the product because I don't really like buying college products.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's cheap, it's available.
Well, it's cheap comparatively.
And I was like, well, I remember it was a $30 pack. $30 per pack, but I was like, a guaranteed auto. If I get like, literally, I was like, what if I get Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
So I was like, I got one single pack. I went in my car and I was making this whole like vlog for the channel. I opened my cart and I opened it and I did such a terrible job because I did it like underhand. I went, I was showing like.
So it looks like you could have just like had it open somewhere else.
Yeah, it does. But I think my excitement was genuine. And so I think no one called me out on that or anything like that. So we're good there. But anyway, I opened it and I literally before I was like, come on, Joe Burrow. And I pulled the redemption. I was like, and then like I cut off the camera. I remember I texted you. I was like, you'll never believe what I just pulled. Mm-hmm. And then I went home and I looked at the redemption. This part I didn't talk about this in the video. At least I don't think I did. I realized later, I was like, holy crap, this card's out of 11. Like it was super short print. And so I was like, stressed. I was like, do I sell? Do I not? It's the college uniform, but it's Joe Burrow. But right now he hasn't played a game yet. So he's the guy. No one's going to outshine him. Herbert hasn't played. Herbert Mania hasn't happened yet. Yep. He's still a backup. So there's so many possibilities. I was like, you know what? And this was before I knew about my whole redemption replacement theory, unfortunately. So in my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell this now. It's a redemption. Who knows when I'll get it. So I went, I pulled it up on eBay. I sold it for $400. I was like, that's not bad.
Which is probably pack. More than what you get right now.
Honestly, well, maybe not.
No, he's in Super Bowl.
He's in the Super Bowl.
It's
that's probably not true.
Auto. I don't know about that. I think
look it up while we're talking.
It'd be pushing. It was a RPS college bowl ticket, on card auto, Joey B. But anyway, so I sold it. Of course, I sell it. Literally 3 weeks later, I see he signed the redemptions and people are getting them. I was like, of course. Well, he might not even be anything. That year he got hurt. And so I was like, you know what? I got $400. I invested it back in this channel. It's not a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing. Of course, now here we are. Literally a year later, he's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Who knows what that card would have been worth?
Yeah, you probably maybe didn't make the best choice.
How much is it selling for now, Adam?
So the one number, was it numbered? I think it was numbered to 10, wasn't it?
Mine was number 211.
Well, one of the ones that was numbered to 10 just sold for $1,400.
Yep. Stupid.
Another one for 10, number to 10 just sold for $931.
Yeah, that's about
the cracked ice to 23 just sold for $900. Yeah. So yeah, I think it was numbered to 10.
It was 10 or 11. I think it was 11 because I remember thinking, I was like, what a weird number.
Because I don't know if they do. I don't know if they do it. They do.
There's a variation of it.
Because they do there's two different ones to 10 in different jerseys. Did you ever see what the card looked like? Or was it just out of sight? I don't know. Done.
It was out of sight. I try not to, when I sell a card, I try not to go back to it just in case for moments like this where I hate myself. But now it's in Super Bowl. He's in Super Bowl. It's hard to avoid.
Yeah, I think you're looking at here's one number to 6. So yeah, maybe it was number to 11.
I think it was.
Here's one right here, 8 of 11.
Yeah.
Sold for $1,199.
Yep. Whoopsies.
Well, it is what it is.
At the time, I was really excited. Who would have thought he'd be in the Super Bowl second year? Literally no other number 1 draft pick has done that in the NFL in their second year. So
cool. Well,
I don't totally regret it. It's going to be an exciting game. It's been a long time to where I can genuinely just enjoy the Super Bowl and not care who wins. So, that's really all we have planned for you guys. I am so excited to be back. Like we said in the beginning of this episode, it's been a little bit. We took a break with holidays, just working. we took the time to kind of learn how to do this better and how to be better about this and how to be smarter about this. Because let's be honest, the hobby is what it is. It's starting to dip back down, but it's still super expensive. It's harder than it was a year ago when we started. So we're just trying to be smart about that. And I think we have a good plan. We have an exciting future for this channel. So thank you guys for sticking with us and following, subscribing, and all that fun stuff. So with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing Super Bowl Sunday. It's going to be jam-packed. I think I'm going to go 21-18 Cincinnati.
I'm going to go 35-28 Rams.
We'll see who wins. If the Bengals win, Adam has to give me his Matthew Stafford autograph card. That's all the time we have. Thank you guys so much.
I won't have it by then, hopefully.
It'll be sold.
He'll sell. If he hasn't sold it, it's mine. I call dibs.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.